Hi, welcome to another It's a Crafty Christmas on Dolallycrafts. This is what we're making today, keeping in theme with table favours and tree hanging ornaments. This is a nifty little bag and it can be used for anything really. I've made it Christmas themed. Now, there are a lot of bags like this out on Pinterest. This one, however, I have made specifically to fit a Paw Essential Health Paw cream. My daughters live with this stuff in their bags, so they can always keep their lips moisturised. But I've got girly girls, really girly girls. So yeah, this is what we're making today. You can see there's a bit of an error there on the bow when I was stamping, because I had to press extra hard because some of the bow didn't print. Anyway, I've made this to size so that you can get 4 of these out of one sheet of DSP. One of the 12 by 12 DSP. So you can get 4 of them out of this. The measurements from memory, it's 6 inch. I've got to remember it's not landscape, it's portrait. So it's 6 inches long by 4.5 inches wide. And the scoring is 5/8 of an inch on the bottom. Now I've got that on the landscape, so it's 5/8 of an inch. And that's all you score on the landscape side. Now, excuse me, the portrait side is a little bit different. So you score it at 2 inches from top to bottom and at 4 inches from top to bottom. Flip it round and then you score it at 1.5 inches just to that first score line and 3.5 inches just to that first score line. And that's all the scoring that's involved in this piece. As I said, it's a really simple gift bag to make. And because it's paper, it doesn't need creasing with the bone folder. You can just do it with your fingers. And that's all that's needed there. And then, I don't know whether you can see, I'll just do that one as well, because it's harder to do afterwards. Don't really know whether you can see these score lines, but there's one each there. Now, I found my paper snips. They were hidden under papers over the side there. Now, this first little box I'm going to cut off completely and just wedge a little bit there. See how that's done? Okay, now I'm going to come up the score lines here at the bottom, just up until that first score line, all the way along. So there we go. That's those 4 done, and that's all the cutting that's needed. Now, flip this over, and I'm just going to apply a bit of double-sided tape down the side there. Fold that over, and then bring the other piece over. And this is where you need your bone folder, just to make sure that's nicely adhered. And that's it. Now this is one of those self-closing boxes, which is really good. Okay, now for the bottom, however, I'm going to bring in my good old tacky glue. And I'm just going to put a little piece, once it comes out, there we go, a little bit of, did that come out? Because it's clear, I can't see it. Okay, so there's a little bit of tacky glue there, and I'm just going to fold that in and then fold the other piece over to meet it. So the bottom of this box is actually square, or the bottom of the bag is actually square, as you can see. Just hold that there for a moment until the tacky glue does its job, and then come in and just put glue all over the bottom there, and that's gone off square, but that's okay because it's gives it a bit of wiggle room at the moment. So there we go. I'm just going to stick my bone folder just in the bottom to give it a good press. Now that is square down the bottom there. Just give it another couple of seconds and that should be right. Now I'm going to open this up at the top and drop that in and give it a good press, because that way I know the bottom is going to stay now that it's got pressure in it, and that's fine now. Okay, so as I said, it's self-closing because I've made it so that you can get 4 of these out of one sheet of 12 by 12 DSP. It doesn't actually close fully, but that's okay, because I'm going to come in with my 1/16 of an inch hole punch. Now if you've got an 1/8 of an inch, that's great, but I don't, so I've just got to do it with the 1/8 of an inch, and you just put 2 holes at the top there like so. Now I've got some baker's twine from last Christmas still left over, and even though it's not the same red, it's a very close match, but I wanted to use the skinny stuff because I know it's going to go through this 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm just making sure, yes, this is the front and that's the back, because the seam is on the back there. So I'm just going to poke that back through like so, and it's gone straight into the bag. There we go. So that comes all the way through. This was a really nice fine baker's twine. Now all I'm going to do, oh, I'm all thumbs this morning. Okay, just a quick tighten there. Sorry about that, my battery died during filming if there's a bit of a gap there. Okay, so we just bring this up and give this top bit a knot. Now if you didn't want this as a table favour, you could tie a pretty bow just in the top there, but because I want this as a hanging favour on the top of my Christmas tree, I needed to tie the knot there so that I've got enough to stick over the branch of the tree. So that'll hang quite nicely on the tree and it will stay closed. Okay, so we've got the front of the box again. Now I've got to bring in a piece of Whisper White. Now have I got any? I should have. Yes. Okay, scrap of Whisper White and a template for my punch. Now all I did, as you can see, is just punched that out of some old grid paper. I'm going to come in with my candy cane and my bow. So this time I'm going to do my candy cane in green, and this is Call Me Clover. Just a nice light tap, and then, sorry, I've got to turn this so that I can see what I'm doing. So just like that. There we go. If you've got the stamp positioner, it's ideal to do this with the stamp positioner. It's a little bit harder the way I'm doing it, but once again you can see I've goofed up there. Oh, I didn't realise I was so close to the edge. Flip it over and we'll do it again. So that's not as bad. So green for the candy cane. That's okay. The bow is what I always have problems lining up. Okay, and I've done it again. I've done another goof, but it can't be helped. I can always cover that with a dimensional, not a dimensional, a rhinestone or a pearl, just to add a little bit of bling, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I just want to get the filming done. Okay, so we'll bring that in. Need to trim the bottom of that just a little bit because it's up a bit high. Okay, let's see how we go this time. Yep. And because I've done the template, I can do the two different colours and have them punched out together. Okay, that's it. Okay, so we've got that punched out. I should use that as the template, but never mind. So we've got those punched out now, and I do have my little For You stamp, which I will ink up in green this time as opposed to the Poppy Parade. Just pop that up the top there. And if you've got a circle punch, you can use the circle punch. I wasn't using the circle punch. I was actually using, this is one of the old teeny tiny, what was it called? Itty Bitty Label Punch, I think. And all I'm going to do is punch that out there, like so. And because I've got it out, I'm going to bring my tag out. And have I got any offcuts in the right coloured red? No, I haven't got any Poppy Parade, have I? Yes. So I'm going to punch a little banner out in the Poppy Parade. So I'm just going to change this up just a little bit. Pop that aside. Okay. A little bit of snail on the back of the bow so that it adheres nicely to the candy cane. And then I'm going to pop this up with a dimensional onto the banner. That stands out a lot better than the last one. Okay, a little bit of snail on the back of this so that it adheres to the box. And a dimensional so that this stands out a little bit more because it's quite a busy pattern on the back there. There we go. So we've got the For You and our little candy cane there. Now, also with this, you're thinking, oh well, the person who's receiving it needs to be able to get the gift out of the box without ruining the box. If they open it up like that, pull the string aside, they can then pull their gift out or keep it in. And there we go. So there you have it. And because of the way I've done it, the knot's gone all the way to the top, but that's okay. I'll fix it for filming, for the photograph. But yeah, let's see if I can find some jewels just to go over the top of that. I'm trying to find white ones here. There we go, or clear gems. I had a huge stash of these before I joined Stampin' Up. That's why I'm still using these at times. So there we go. We've covered our boo-boo up, added a little bit of bling. So I'll just move all this stuff out the way and bring my sample in. And there you go. Really cute little gifts. As I said, these could be used for anything. Like you could decorate it in any type of paper. I actually like that it stands out a bit more on the red background, but because that was put on one of the green stockings there, it still matches really nicely. And as you can see, they do stand up, so they're ideal for table favours. You just do a nice bow there. Okay, I hope you liked today's project and you'll give it a go. I will see you next time for another crafty Christmas at Doolally Crafts. Okay, bye-bye.